Hey everybody, and I'm also here with Colleen.
Hello everyone.
So I want to bring up Colleen because Colleen is absolutely half of the reason why I'm up here. Robert, what's up, man? Good to see you. So I want to first acknowledge I am a white, cis, male CEO, and I am on a journey. I'm not here to say like I'm anyone's savior or I'm fixing everything. So I just want to be kind of clear about that and humble about that. I've got a lot to learn. So can we, actually, where's it? Why am I up there? Stop. Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm the founder and CEO of Treehouse. We're an online school.
And I'm the director of TalentPath, which is our apprenticeship program that we've launched this last year to work with communities and bringing students new opportunities in tech.
Cool. So we're here to really tell you a story or share a story. So you can kind of sit back and go into story mode. We're going to talk about what happened at Treehouse and what we have learned from it. And there was kind of 4 big lessons. So let me set the stage. I had started Treehouse because I got a computer science degree and then I got a job. And I was shocked that 80% of my curriculum didn't match the job. And I felt something was really wrong. And I didn't know what was wrong, but I wanted to try to see if I could do something about it. So I started a school that was meant to be affordable. And the thinking, and this is, looking back, this is naive now to think this, I thought that would solve a lot of the systematic problems I was seeing. So ran Treehouse for 6 years, and then I signed something called the Diversity Pledge in Portland. Jared's here from Techtown, and the idea was, hey, I believe in diversity and inclusion, of course, I'm a moral person. So I signed it, and then I looked at my own company, and I was like, my company is mostly men who are white. Like, what did I do? And so I just went into learning mode. Learn, listen for a year. And we learned 4 things. So the first big thing I learned was we had to go develop partnerships. And I had met Colleen at Boys and Girls Clubs. And I could tell she was an amazing person. And I sat down with her and said, can we try to figure this out? So over to you.
So it was really exciting because in Portland, we've had this amazing growth in tech and there's all this wealth that's happening. And the community that I served, the Boys and Girls Club, was right a couple blocks away from where all the action was happening and people weren't reaping the benefits. In fact, it was literally opposite. From gentrification and everything else that was happening, our communities were being pushed farther and farther out. So I was looking with the group that I worked with for ways to really get change happening and how do we get everyone to participate in the wealth. So it went beyond STEM classes and training kids and introducing them in hackathons. It was like real jobs. How do they really get to participate? And so we turned it on its head and started with where's the need and how can we get the communities involved, and really took it from there, realizing that it was going to be a journey and it was going to be about building trust.
So the big first lesson is we needed trust. As a white tech company, we could not just expect people to apply for our jobs. And the Boys and Girls Clubs gave us that credibility and trust, and Colleen was going to work with us. So that was a huge deal, and that took a long time to build. But the second thing we learned was more brutal truth. So you take this
and one. We really thought that we knew. We worked with our community. We served over 10,000 youth across the Portland metro area. We thought we had it figured out, and we really realized that this theory of barriers and this idea that there's a digital divide was so real and true. The community, when we reached out, we had to overcome everything from complete lack of access to internet, not having any role models in the home that could help them understand the offering that we were giving. So it went beyond our expectation of needing to provide a laptop and maybe some kind of internet boost to helping the families understand that this is a real thing and that it wasn't some kind of scam, because there's so many predatory type of things that were coming at us all the time in the clubs. Hey, can you come in and we'll give you like shoes, but we want to take pictures with all of your youth, all of that kind of stuff. So it was really building out and understanding the barriers, not just the technical barriers, but what was going on and how did we find the people that would really be able to help get the community engaged. So we had to dig deep.
And I want to make it clear, we were just trying to change Treehouse. So this wasn't us trying to build some sort of program or fix the industry. This was just literally, can we make Treehouse more inclusive and more diverse?
Well, in Portland.
And Portland.
I was going to say, you know,
Yeah, true.
the community we were serving was
yeah,
the
true. Yes,
Treehouse, but
so the point was, we're trying to build something that will just work for us, and we kept learning a lot, and a lot of this, especially, as the white male cis CEO guy, I had so much privilege. I couldn't even see some of this stuff until I started to be trained to see it, and then it was just everywhere, and it was real. So the partnership helped us get over that. So the next lesson was, okay, like every tech company, we hire computer science graduates. We know how to do that, and we call them software engineer 1. What we don't know how to do is hire software engineer 0, someone who doesn't have experience. How do we systematically get them from there to there without just hiring them as an apprentice and kind of hoping it works? And so we got specific about the program. What does it involve? How much mentorship? Exactly how does this work? And so we built a program. It looks like apprenticeship, but this is the reality of what it is. It's a career path, and it's a formal job description that gets you from there to there. So that was another key lesson that we learned. I'll kind of lead this one. This was just so obvious as soon as I saw it. I just looked at Treehouse, and we have still a white male culture, and we are systematically trying to change it. But what I realized is we could do a great job hiring underrepresented talent, and they wouldn't stay. It would just be terrible. Even though I felt like we were a nice place and we were friendly, it actually wasn't inclusive. So we've been working really hard at that, and that started with me, getting deep training, and then it started to roll out to the executives and then go down from there. Did you have any other thoughts about that?
Well, and I think the other piece that we really had to work with was our pilot class, and I wish they were all here so that they could hear us really talk about how this whole experience couldn't have happened without learning how much we needed to listen. Because they were in there doing the hard work, and we were starting to understand that the technical part was training we understood and we knew how to do, but what really started coming to the surface was communication and team, and where are the barriers to getting people to ask questions so that they learned the answer they needed, and to stand up in a team setting, and all of those pieces that either culturally or age, we were working with youth, so that's a whole nother layer that was coming in. How do we help this group really succeed in those areas that are harder to gauge or track or really put a number on? And that was the piece that the community partner, again, they knew how to reach in and to support and bring their services. So it's really 3 partners: education, employer, and a community group, lifting these students up, wrapping around, and leaning in to help them succeed.
So just want to show you kind of what does this look like. This ended up looking like this program. And you have on the left, we start with an amazing community partner that builds trust. We're also working with Dress for Success now, so that we can specifically invest in women. Then thankfully we're a school. Yay, we have part of the solution. That's pretty cool. So we use our own curriculum plus a lot of services laid on top and bottom of that. So mentorship, support, just a ton of stuff. And then we have apprenticeship, and then we have mentorship. So it just gives you an idea of what are we talking about. This is kind of the graph form of that. But the truth is this is what we're talking about. These are the amazing apprentices. We have the first cohort is down here on the left, and they were all Latinx, and they're some of the grittiest, most amazing people I've ever met.
And I think that the one thing that we're finding is that this is a community investment that tech can actually make. When we're hiring from our community, when we went into work with Treehouse, and now that I'm at Treehouse, we're going all over and helping realize that when you invest in a student and they're in that community and they learn and they get that position within the company, that is just spreads out. They're supporting local businesses, they're supporting their family, and now everyone in that community is benefiting and lifting up. So it's really, I hear a lot. I'm 7 months into tech, and I've heard this a lot. How do we help? How can we get involved? What should we do? Invest right where you are, hire where you are, and you're going to start getting that retention and everything. So that's really who these folks are. These are people right in the neighborhoods and the communities of the tech companies that have hired them.
Yeah, they literally lived about, they went to the Boys and Girls Club site that was 5 minutes from Treehouse. And we kept hearing, executives say, there's no talent. And what we realized is there is too much talent. Like it is everywhere. And we just had to open up our eyes. So it's been pretty amazing. We're getting the please stop sign. We love to share what we're learning. We are still learning. And so if you ever want to talk to us about that, those are emails and Twitter accounts, or Instagram. We're here to share what we've learned. We're here to learn from you. We're proud to be serving. So I don't know if you want to say anything else.
Just thank you. It's been great to be here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.